to My Kind of Meeple. I'm Stevie.
I'm Billy.
I'm Andy.
We're joined by the Yellow Meeple tonight. Tonight we're going to do a short playthrough video, or how to play video of the new hotness from Fantasy Flight Games. And that one really, there we go, Outer Rim. I can't tell you, when we played this at the expo, it was like being a rock star, because it had literally been released that day.
Yeah.
And there's like every 5 minutes somebody was
Definitely.
I kind of felt like Vivian from the Young Ones. Yes, we have a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been asked to, by so many people, can I play your game?
Yeah. And they were like, no, you cannot play our game.
This game is true.
Unfortunately, there were 4 of us, and it's a game for 1 to 4 players.
Yeah.
And there is no kind of variance on that you can't squeeze an extra player in or anything. I know there are some games out there that you can do that. This is definitely not one of those.
Let's not down the Gloomhaven route again.
Okay.
Terrible mistake.
Once never again.
Huge.
Yeah,
so this is we're going to zoom in and you can get a better look at the components and stuff like that. So we just want to give you like kind of intro on what we're doing, what we hope to achieve with this. Andy, you got you've played it before, so what was your thoughts on this?
I have played it before. I thought it was. I really enjoyed it at the time, as you say, when we played it at the expo. It's not too difficult to pick up once you get into it. There's a good amount in it. I mean, it took us a good 3 hours to play. I think recommended play time is 2 to 3 hours. Fair enough, we were learning it at the expo.
yeah, we did.
And as Billy says, there was multiple times of stopping, going, "Is that Outer Rim?" Yes, it is. But but at the same time, that's part of what the expo is about, is discovering new games and talking to fellow geeks. I thought it had a good amount of character in terms of what each of the characters do and how they differ slightly. At the end of the day, you're all going for the same objective, but they all have slightly different ways of getting about it. I did have to appreciate the fact that Billy, who when we played through at the expo played Lando and managed to pull off a victory effectively by owning Spacecapes. Which is very Lando's way.
It's quite a good game in that. Again, it's Fantasy Flight and they love their Star Wars franchise, but this is a game that doesn't really deal with the Empire and the Rebels. It's about
it's about the scoundrels.
It's about the scoundrels.
Yes.
It's about the people
The
down
bounty
the fringes,
hunters.
the bounty hunters, the smugglers, that kind of thing. And the missions kind of represent that. No, I had a great time playing this game, and deceptive in that this is your board, but we'll get to that and you'll see more of that. But there's a lot of game here.
Very. I thought it was very different to other games. It's a strange is probably not the right word for it, but it's a very different looking board to what you're probably used to in a variety of other games, and the fact that it is an arc around the table.
Yes.
I thought it was really kind of interesting how they incorporated the different things. I mean, quite nicely. If you're a Star Wars fan, you might recognise that the playing pieces are like sabacc card shaped, and again that's very scoundrelly, given Lando and Han's kind of iconic card game in the movies. It has different types of alliances, so it includes things like the Hutts, the Crime Lords, and then obviously the Alliance and the Imperium. So it's got all these things, and then it's got the kind of scoundrel element, and you're moving about a board encountering loads and loads of characters from the Star Wars galaxy, and visiting loads of planets that you'll recognise from movies and comics and
the
just
kind of expanded universe.
you know everything, and from the kind of the Han Solo movie, the Kessel there, so you've got your Maelstrom and the Kessel run and things like that.
The Thal there from the Rebels captain.
So you recognise. I mean, if you've watched the movies, you'll probably recognise the names of the worlds or planets that are on the board. And some of those planets have got affiliations. So some are Imperial planets, and some are Rebel, some are the Hutts, some of the crimes, and some belong to crime syndicates. And again, there's some that don't belong to any. And it's really good, the fact that it incorporates all into this kind of one very different style of game, which I thought was excellent.
Okay,
I think also as well, what Stevie and I noticed when we were setting this board up today is that actually this board, which we see more of, all comes in 6 different segments, and actually it doesn't have to go in any particular order. These are all interchangeable. All the kind of hyperspace lanes that you move through, they all are designed so that they will line up with any of them. So you can mix and match it.
So that gives you a kind of some level of replayability, so your board isn't always the same.
Yeah.
My opinion is when we played the first, it felt very much like a Euro game. It looks like an Ameritrash game, but it feels like a Euro game because there's a lot of moving parts and there's lots of different ways to win. So without further ado, I think we've got on with some playthrough, and you kind of talk you through a couple of turns, and then obviously the game takes about 3 hours, so we're not going to bore you for 3 hours. Plus, we want to speak our mind and probably swear at Billy a bit. So, without further ado, let's get on with the playthrough.
The first game component we're going to look at is the player board. On the player board, there are the numbers 0 to 12. This is the fame tracker. This tracks the victory points that you accrue as you progress through Star Wars Outer Rim. You start with 0, and in the starter game, you need 8 fame to win. For the basic game, you would need 10, and if you wanted to extend your game, the advanced game would be 12. To the extreme right of the player board is the reputation tracks. On each of these tracks is a token that allows you to track the reputation you have with the different factions in Star Wars Outer Rim. As you progress through the game, and indeed on some of the starter cards, you either have a positive or negative reputation with any one of the factions. That is represented by either sliding the token up for a positive reputation or down for a negative reputation, and that has in-game effects. The recess at the bottom of the player board is for your character card. The character we're using is Boba Fett as an example, and he has 2 stats: the ground combat value in red, which is again used in the game, and his health, which is in yellow, which again is affected throughout the game. Each character has an action and a personal goal, and also tells you which databank card he should select from in order to establish his starting position on the board. There are also other slots on the player board for job or bounty cards at the bottom on the right hand side, and up at the top there is a slot for gear, and there are 2 slots for gear on a player board. The second part of the player board in Star Wars Outer Rim is the ship that your character is piloting. This ship is the G9 Rigger and is one of the 2 starting ships. The other ship being the G1A Starfighter. There is a slot on this ship to contain cargo, mods, and crew. The stats on the vehicle are the hyperdrive in green, the ship combat value in red, and the hull in yellow. These stats are used in game, and you'll see them as we progress through the play. As you progress in the game, you can upgrade to better ships and probably more recognisable ships. The Firespray 31 patrol craft may not be a name you recognise, but I'm sure the image will be remembered as the fearsome Slave 1, which you can achieve once you've achieved ship goals in the game. And so on to the playthrough of Star Wars Outer Rim. So what we have are encounter decks, which are dotted around our table, and each encounter deck refers to 2 planets on the game board in front of them. We also have the market cards, which you interact with during the game. We have the data bank cards, and we have the artificial intelligence cards that we will not be using for this game, as they're only used in the one-player game, or if you want a extra player character and to be controlled by the game itself. So we'll move them to the side. So what you would do to start setting up the board would be organise the actual outer rim setup itself and build the map. Once the map's built, you will have patrol tokens on each side of the board. Each pile of patrol tokens has a small dot, and the top one has 1 dot, the next one has 2 dots, the next 3, and then the final has 4. They are all piled up within their factions and in order on each side. So the first thing we do for each of the factions is flip them up so that we know what patrols are currently on the board. Once that's done, but we have actually already done it, you would set up contacts on each of the worlds. So, for example, on this board we have a green contact, which is a level 2 contact, and we have a gold contact, which is a level 3 contact. Below on Ord Mantell, we have a white contact, which is a level 1 contact, and we have a gold contact, which is a level 3. And these are actually shown on the board which level of contacts you put on each of the worlds.
The level of the contact represents the difficulty to achieve.
Yeah. Yes. We have the tokens, and Stevie will show them. So there are a few tokens in the board, as with nearly every Fantasy Flight game, who loves a token.
All the card stock.
So we have got the credit tokens in 3 different denominations: 1,000 credits, 5,000 credits, and 10,000 credits. Again, the currency of the game. We have got the damage tokens. Lots of them. Hopefully I won't be taking too much. And we have got the gold tokens, thanks. And gold tokens. I couldn't remember what they were called there, apologies. So that's us effectively set up for the game. The game uses 8-sided dice, but again, those dice aren't your standard 1 to 8. There are different images on the dice to represent different things. But we'll come to that when we actually use the dice, and we'll explain what each of the different sides of the dice means. So now we go on to choosing characters. There are 8 characters in the game, a variety of scoundrels and bounty hunters, and rebels from around the scum and villainy from around the galaxy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to simply deal one out to each player, and then we will move on and play the game.
I got IG-88.
I got Bosk, so I get to be an enormous transition.
Excellent. I get to be the assassin droid.
And I get to be Dr. Aphra. Dr. Aphra, not a movie character, well, certainly at the moment, but from the Darth Vader comic book series. So that's the characters, and we would place them in our...
There's a certain radius school, isn't there?
Yeah, so each character card is double-sided, because each character card, as was explained earlier, has a personal goal. Once you achieve that goal, you flip that over, and that gives you another certain ability.
So, what's your personal goal, Andy?
So my personal goal is have at least 1 mod and 2 gear with combined cost of at least 15,000 credits to gain 1 fame and flip this card.
Cool. My personal goal is to have 2 droid crew, gain 1 fame and flip this card.
And my personal goal as Dr. Aphra is to complete 2 jobs and gain 1 fame and flip this card.
Okay. Quite easy.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. So, now that we've all got our characters, what we have to do is we have to go round those characters one by one and establish the start for that character. So, as I mentioned, there are databank cards on the board, and you would select one of the databank cards from that pile, and that number is specified on the character card. So, for example, Dr. Afra would select setup card number 92. So we would go through the deck and find cards number 92.
Now these are all put in number order.
Yeah.
They don't need shuffled. They just stay that way for the entire game.
It is worth noting that it doesn't go numerically from 1 to 100. There is gaps.
Yeah,
in
there
that,
seems to be gaps.
which we assume is going to be for
Potential expansions, new cards.
I'm fairly confident that we're going to have new scoundrels.
This is Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, this is Fantasy Flight. They'll love an expansion. And
They love the Star Wars
quite
franchise.
frankly, so do I. So I'm not going to complain, especially when it's a Star Wars game. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see other bounty hunters, other kind of rogues, scoundrels from around the galaxy. There's plenty of scum and villainy to choose from in Star Wars, and I'm pretty sure Fantasy Flight have probably already got ideas for the next injection of scum and villainy into this game, and I'm sure they'll start to fill those databank cards. So one of the interesting things that I certainly found was that the databank cards, although they're numbered, they also have a number of dots on them, and that actually indicates how many different cards of the same number there are. So in the instance of databank card number 92 for my character Dr. Afra, there are actually 3. And so what happens is I don't get to pick. I would shuffle these and randomly get one. So I've given it a wee shuffle and I'm going to take the top one. I then replace them back in the numerical order, and as Andy mentioned at the start, these are never shuffled. They're always kept in order so that you can find the number as quickly as you can. So on the card, it gives a bit of information, and the starting planet I will be starting on is Tatooine. So I'll find my Dr. Afra character playing piece and I will place her on Tatooine. So that's me set up in my start place.
Okay.
Now this card is also a job, and so I would place that underneath job or bounty on my player board. Now the job that I've got is a strength job called Heavy Hitters. Now the interesting thing is that each card that you have has a variety of skills. So my character, Dr. Afra, has got 3 skills at the very bottom of her card. She's got knowledge, stealth and tech. One interesting thing about me is I don't actually have an action like a lot of other characters. My ability is that once per turn, when I perform a skill test, I can choose a skill of my choice for that test. So when you're making a test, you can either do it skilled or unskilled. If you have the skill, that would mean your character was skilled. If you have multiple of the same skill, it means that you're very skilled, and if you don't have any, it means you're not skilled. And they all have effects on what kind of score you need on the dice to achieve a skill. So this job requires me to go to Takodana and perform an encounter, and then I get a reward if I manage to achieve it. The next part of my start is that I have a positive Imperial reputation. So I would move my Imperial reputation to positive, and that's me ready to start the game after I have picked the ship that I'll be using, which is the G9 rigger.
So while I was going through that, I took my starting card, which was Dainty. Conversely enough, both Andy and I seem to be bounty hunters.
Yeah.
We both start with a card, but like Billy said, there were 4 cards to choose from here. I chose a random one and then handed the 90s to Andy, and then he chose his. So my starting planet is Takodana,
which is there.
Okay, and that's my piece. Can you stick me on there, Andy?
Okay,
Thank you.
Well, I might be coming to see you for my job.
Oh.
And then my job is a bounty. I'm a bounty hunter after all, and I need to go to, or I need to find rather Dr. Evazan. He has a death sentence in 4 systems, 5 systems.
Yeah.
12 systems.
12
12
systems.
systems.
Thank
12
you.
systems.
Thank you.
12 systems. That character will be found as one of the contacts on one of the worlds. If you were basing it on the movie, you'd probably find him on Tatooine. But
What's the
but
chances?
again,
Alright.
it's totally random, so he can genuinely be anywhere on the board. But what the card does tell you is that he is a level 1 contact.
Yep.
You can see that from his image.
Yep.
So that gives Stevie or IG88 an idea of where to go and
Use
start
my real
looking.
name. So yeah, to give you an idea of the bounty, there's 2 options on the bounty. I can either go into a fight with him and eliminate him, wanted dead or alive, and I would claim 5,001 fame for that job. But if I take the effort to bring him in alive, he's worth 10,000 to me and 1 fame if I bring him to Mon Calamari.
Okay. As Stevie said, I'm also a bounty hunter, so I drew from the same kind of area of the cards as he did. I have your friend, Pondo Lava, that famous guy who got his arm cut off by certain Jedi, and
He doesn't like you.
he doesn't like you.
My friend doesn't like you either.
And what it also tells me is that I start on Mon Calamari, so I will go there. And again, he's a level 1 contact, so I need to find him on the board. And again, same as Stevie, I can either eliminate him for certain rewards, or I can capture him and take him to Takodana, which gains me more.
Maybe we should just swap places.
Maybe we should.
So with the characters chosen, I will remove these pieces that we will no longer require.
I mean, there's some A-list characters in that pile that we didn't get.
Yeah, definitely.
Billy, I
there's-
could tell he's a little bit dead inside. He didn't get Lando Calrissian again.
Yeah, I do like me some Lando. So I mean, the characters that we didn't, we had Jyn Erso that we didn't get from Rogue One, which was a really popular movie. We've got Ketsu Onyo, who is a character I'm not particularly familiar with. And then on top of that, we've got 3 iconic,
the heavy hitters.
Yeah, the
we've
big,
got-
the big
yeah,
characters,
the A-listers
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, Han Solo, and Lando Calrissian.
One thing I really loved about this game we played it is they've used the likeness of Harrison Ford and Billy Dee, but they've put him in the clothes from Solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's like Lando's wearing the yellow cape and
he's wearing the kind of
yeah.
young Han Solo clothes, but it's
Yeah.
Billy D. Williams' face.
And the
so-
hand's wearing the kind of leather jacket, the brown leather jacket that I can't remember the fella's name.
Yeah, Edwin
Yeah.
Aldrich.
Edwin Aldrich was wearing in Solo.
Yeah, so no, it's I mean, I don't know if I've actually mentioned this already, but I mean, the game is beautiful. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything else from a fantasy fight game, especially when it's backed up by like a kind of brand like Star Wars or
Yeah.
you know. So
They always
All right.
They always put a lot of effort into them.
Yep.
so
absolutely.
do you guys have any changes in reputation?
Not that I
I
can see, buddy.
do. So I've got positive reputation with the huts.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
where does that
Okay.
come from? Where does that do?
It comes from down right at the
Oh,
bottom
right,
of the
okay.
card there.
Right.
You'll see
I
either
don't
a
know.
positive or negative reputation against
Right.
some of the factions that are present here.
Okay, lovely.
Okay.
All right, so that's the characters that are on the board. We've got ships chosen. We've got everything lined up the way we need it.
So, out of interest, you went for the rigger.
Yeah, I went for the rigger.
So
So
did you?
Yep, I went for the rigger.
Well, for the sake of for
completeness.
well, just a little bit of variety, I went for the starfighter. I'm better in ship combat than you guys,
Yeah.
but I'm slower.
Aye, so it's slightly slower, but it's slightly better
And
than
you
ship
get-
combat.
We're faster, but you get better horse
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there we go. All right, but that's good that we're showing each of the different ships. So the next part that you get to is the market. So these cards that are lined up in front of Stevie here, you would flip the top of each card, and this is the available card at that time.
Okay. So these are all the cards that we went through previously when talking about the character and the ship boards. We've got This is where you can get new jobs, new bounties. This is where you can get cargo, buy mods, gear. Some of them give you the ability to get new ships, like this one here. Again, some of those ships, as we said, are very iconic. There is Slave One, there is Millennium Falcon, there is the Houndstooth for boss, all these kind of things. And then there are some that to people who maybe only seen the movies wouldn't be so recognisable, but to people who have kind of encountered a lot more of the Star Wars universe, they would know.
Like that ship, for instance, that one there you're holding about, the one that's from the Jedi Knight game.
Yes, the
the Moldy Crow.
And then that one is from the role-playing game. That was the yacht from the role-playing.
The Valorous. So I don't know if we can see these on screen, but each of the characters has the ship that they would have been known for. When you initially get it, I think as we described earlier with the Slave One, they start as the standard ship and then become the kind of named vessel that people probably are a lot more familiar with.
Yep. They like the characters have a kind of a ship goal, as Billy said earlier. And once you complete that, you get to flip the card over, and it becomes the named vessel that people are well known for.
The IG-2000, although people maybe not as familiar as Slave One or Houndstooth for that matter, that would be IG-8 ship.
Okay, so we're all set up. We're ready to get our first turn on. I'm going to go as the first player. As the first player, I get 4,000 credits. Play will then go clockwise for me, so that means the second player, who's Stevie, he gets 6,000 credits, and the third player, who's Billy, will get 8,000 credits. So what that means is obviously, well, you maybe get access to the market first. You're coming into it a bit poorer than some of the other people who are following you, so it balances out slightly there. So the player turn is divided into effectively 3 steps. The first one is the planning step. During this step, you can choose one of 3 things. There's a handy little card as well that you get. Everybody gets one of these to help you remember this. So you can either move up to your ship's hyperdrive value. Mine is the G9 rigger, so I can move 6 spaces on the board. Or I can gain 2,000 credits, or I can recover all my damage. Now that's if I've been defeated, which basically means if either my ship or my character have taken their full health, that is a requirement. But I've not done any of that. What I need to do is I need to get on with my bounty, which is finding Pondo Baba. I know he's a level 1 contact, so I am going to go somewhere where there's a level 1 contact. So I'm going to go to move 2 spaces and go to Lothal. Okay. Now we move on to the action step. So during the action step, there's various actions, and you can perform any or all of these. So you can deliver your cargo or bounties. I have none. You can do a market action only if you're on one of the planets. So there's planets. There's also nav points on the board as well. So you can only do a market action, which is buying from one of these if you're on a planet. During that market action, you can discard the top card of one of these market decks, so you can cycle them through. Essentially as well, if you want to, maybe mess up somebody else's game, you think they're gunning for something, you can cycle it off. And you can also buy the top card of one of the market decks. Also, what happens when you buy one of these cards, you'll see some of them have markers. What these do is they tell you these patrols, they move, and how far they move. Or, as well, you can also trade cards with someone in your space. So, I don't have a lot of cash just now. I'm a bit cash poor, being the first player. So
you could pick up a new bounty. That's 2 credits.
So I could pick up a new bounty, or I could take a job. So I've only got 2 slots. So what I'll do is I'll take a job. So I'll take that
one. Do you want to take this one, or do you want to cycle through?
No, I'll take that job there. Okay. So that job is the casino heist. Okay, so knowing this playthrough, it's a bit difficult. there are certain conditions as well, so you cannot get this if you're on Cantonica. I'm not, I'm on Lothal, so that's fine. I have to go to Cantonica, and then I resolve Databank card 42, which is in this deck here. If I do that, I gain 15,000 credits. That's a lot of cash, but we'll see if I can pull it off. Okay, so that's me done all my action steps. I've got nothing else to do. There's no players in my space to trade cards with. So now I've got the encounter step, which is the last phase of my turn. So again, during this you can only choose one action. You can fight a patrol. If one of these patrols is in your space, if you move through the patrol space, unless you have positive reputation with them, you must stop. If you have neutral reputation, you just stop. If you have negative reputation with that faction, you can fight them. You can resolve an encounter card, which is one of these here, so that would just mean flipping it over, or you can resolve a contact token. Now, I'm obviously looking for Pondo Baba. I know he's a white contact. There's a white contact on Lothal, so I'm going to flip that over. But it's not Pondo Baba, it's W-I-L-E. And he's got a little number there, 22. So that tells me to get card 22 out the databank set. Okay. So, 22. W1ILE. Okay, if you're Lando Calrissian, you may gain the crew below and discard W1LE's token. I'm not Lando Calrissian, I'm a big transition. So, otherwise, you may test tech. If you pass, gain the crew below and discard his token. If you would fail, you may spend 3,000 credits to pass this test instead. Okay, so here's how we do some tests.
Right, so the way that we do tests is, on skill tests, you roll 2 dice.
Okay.
So you would take 2 of the gold dice in the game, and you would roll them. You would also compare to see if you had the skill that you were asking to be tested against.
Okay.
If
Right.
you do have the skill, you would either need a critical, which is the starburst with the empty centre, or a normal hit, which is the starburst that is filled in. If you're unskilled, you would require to have the critical alone, so the starburst with no centre. And if you're highly skilled, you would be able to roll any of the symbols, including the eye, on the dice, and the only failure would be if it was a blank.
Okay, so my skills are strength and tactics, so I don't have tech. So that basically means I am looking for a critical on one of these die, which I don't get. Okay. But you know what? I'll spend the money, I'll get some crew. So that's 3,000 there. Okay. And I can put crew in my 1 slot with my ship. Okay, so what that crew gains me is I get a new thing, which is an encounter, perform a market action even if you're at a nav point, or perform this action during your action step. So I can do another market action. And I also get the influence skill. So that basically means I'm now classed as skilled in influence, so it makes it easier to pass those tests. Okay, and that is basically my turn done.
We'll now remove the contact from the board.
Okay, so it is worth noting that the game is PvP, but you can choose to be, you don't have to, but you can at some point. There is going to be some conflict. Like for instance, Andy's just picked up a droid crew, and I need droid crew, so I'm probably going to at some point try and liberate the droid from the non-droid person.
You're so mean.
Yeah. No, he's totally emotionless, mate. It's nothing. There's totally nothing to do with that. Anyway, so my turn. I'm flying a ship with a move of 5, but like Andy, I'm also on the hunt for white contacts. So I think I can get to the Ring of Catherine, which has a white contact. So
yep.
So they wouldn't mind moving me up there.
Okay.
Like Andy, I could have had the choice of gaining 2,000 credits and recovering damage if I had any. But that's the first turn, so we're not. So perform any and all actions. No cargo to deliver, market actions, and cycle through cards. I'm sitting on 6,000 credits.
You could buy some armor. You could buy an armored vest.
Armored vest, yeah. Is that a bounty for forlorn? Yeah. Hire crew. Does that give me any skills? What's that? Before you perform skill tests, you may gain a skill of your choice for that test. If you pass this test, discard the crew. Yeah, it's not bad. For 1,000 points, that's
Not bad for 1,000 credits, yeah.
An illegal job, stolen hyperfuel, but there's rules for illegal jobs, isn't there?
Yeah, there's illegal cargo, yeah.
Yeah, I think when you hand in an illegal cargo, you have to make a test, and potentially you will end up causing damage or something.
But you can gain fame from illegal cargoes, and
and in fact, I believe
sometimes worth the risk with your smoggling.
I believe was it Lando's personal goal? He had to deliver illegal cargo.
Yeah, Lando's personal goal is he has to successfully deliver, I believe it's 2 illegal cargoes, in order to fulfil his personal goal.
I'm going to cycle that gear card,
Okay.
which is one of my things, and then flip the next one on top. And we get a weapon, which is always better than armour, I feel. During ground combat, you may turn one of your eye results into a star. If you have strength or strength, so if you have stealth or strength, gain 1 fight.
One ground combat.
Ground combat skill. Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's pretty good.
That's 4,000 credits.
Oh.
So I think I'll buy that.
Okay.
And I am now a assassin droid with a vibro knife, and that goes in the gear slot, which is in the top of my cards, so you can't really see that. Now, because I've bought a card that has
A patrol.
and then move this to 4 spaces.
Yes.
So that goes 1, 2, 3, 4 into the space.
Okay.
Okay.
And again, the card, when you do purchase it, it tells you what faction you move, and in the yellow circle it tells you how many. So it's not always the same amount of squares.
No.
It could be less, could be more.
Okay, so that was my market action. Trade cards, no data trades with us. So now it's the encounter step. No fights to have. Resolve an encounter card or resolve a contact token. So I'm going to have a look at what's under the white contact token.
Okay. You get Pondo Baba.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's going to be number 20. So
Number 20. Okay, so he doesn't like you, but a few credits may change his mind. Well, I just spent credits on knife, so I don't have any credits to. That's over 2,000 because that was on. Right, so test strength. If you fail, your character suffers 2 damage. Pass or fail, you may spend 3,000 credits to gain the crew below and discard upon the Baba's token. Okay, so I'm going to have to fight this guy because I don't have the money. So that gives me a strength of 4 versus, what's that? Test strength, sorry,
Test
that's a
strength.
strength
So it's 2
test.
dice.
Yep, so 2 dice.
Not
I
strength
do
skill.
have the strength skill.
okay, so you're looking for a regular or a critical success.
Okay. And
What you get?
There we go.
Awesome. So, take that, Walrus Man. And so that the end there, is that?
Yep. It goes
Yep.
into
So
your
here
resources.
again, you kind of convince him with big meaty robot fists to join the crew.
clappers. That's me. That's me done. So it's over to you, bro.
Okay. As the third player, I actually start with 8,000 credits, which I have in front of me, and if we had a 4th player, they would start with 10,000 credits.
Yep.
But we don't. So this is kind of where it stops. All right. So as Dr. Afra, my personal goal is to complete jobs. I currently have a job and the destination of that job is Takodana. I'm on Tatooine just now, and Takodana is actually quite far away, so I need to make some decisions as to what I'm going to do. And I am going to move the hyperdrive value of my G9 rigger, and I'm going to move in the direction of Takodana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I don't quite make it to the planet. So I have now completed my planning step, which involved moving my ship's hyperdrive value. I then get to move to the action step. So I can't deliver cargo or bounties because I'm not on a planet.
Nope.
I can't take a market action, which would involve me cycling through one of the top cards of this deck. One of these decks, because you can only do that if you're on a planet as well. It says, so I am not in a position to discard the top card or to buy any of those cards either. I can trade with any characters that are in my space, but there are none. So effectively my action step needs to end there. None of my cards have an action step that allows me to take an action in that step. So I'm moving on to the third step, which is encounters. So there are no patrols, and there are no contacts for me. However, as being on a nav point, the nav points have their own encounter cards, and that is where I'll be going. So I'm going to flip this card. So there's two options on this card, and the first is if there's no patrol. The second would be if there was a patrol. In this instance, there is no patrol. So if you have positive or neutral Imperial reputation, move up to 2 spaces, which is quite handy for me, and I am going to choose to do that, and I am going to move to that planet. If I had negative Imperial reputation, I would move the Imperial patrol directly to any space adjacent to the space I was currently in. Okay,
Crazy.
so
Hunted down.
I'm glad I'm on good terms with the Imperials.
You're a Roman.
So, having resolved that encounter card, I put it to the bottom of the encounter card deck for the nav points, and that is the end of my turn.
Excellent.
Okay, first round.
First round then. Okay,
Let's go.
let's do it.
So, so it's back to me. So, well, yeah, because Stevie has stolen my bounty as his crew. So, you know, I may just have to go and see what's happening here.
I'll give you the clampers.
Give me the clampers. So I am going to move. I'm going to move my move value of 6, which is going to take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can go to the Ring of Kafrine, which is where Stevie's at.
Oh, hello, Bosk.
Hello. So that's my planning step. My action step. Again, I have no cargoes or bounties to deliver. I can do a market action. So let's have a look here. I think I'm going to cycle that there.
Ooh, that's
Whoa.
level 3. Here is Sindula, who is obviously one of the rebels from the captain.
Yeah. She's a gold level contact with a fight value of 5, so it will probably be a bit more difficult to take down than the kind of white level contacts. So I'm probably going to lean off that just now. I don't have a crew slot, so I can't hire any crew, and I don't really have any money for anything else, so that's probably going to be me. What I can do though is I can trade cards with other players in my space.
You can.
You can, yes.
So, in this instance, I could say to Stevie IG88, who is well known for he quite likes robots and
His logic and reason.
logic and reason and lack of emotion.
Not sure why Stevie's playing.
And I need that bounty, so I could offer to trade you my crew card for your crew card.
No, wait, that's fine. No,
Okay.
No, that's I'm happy with that because if it was the other way around, that benefits us both.
Yep.
I get droids, which gets me closer to my goal, and Andy gets closer to his goal.
Yes.
All right.
So.
And again, this is one of the cool parts of this game, because you can barter with other people in the game.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do this. There's no rules that say that you can't just have this exchange. You need to actually encounter the card. It's simply you can switch cards with people. You can switch cards for promises.
Yes.
Is that something?
That is something you can switch cards for promises. So effectively, you could say, "I will, if you give me that crew, I will give you 10,000 credits in 4 turns' time." However, and obviously, this is one of the things of this part of the game is everybody has to be honest. You can't just go, "Actually, I'm not going to do that," because otherwise the game
You need to fulfill your promises.
Because otherwise, as Han Solo found out, you get a bit of a death mark on you, and that is
That's
a
a
hard
hard
thing
thing to live with.
So, but in this case, I have honoured my promise. We've done a bit of a prisoner exchange, and I'm okay with this. So
See you later.
that finishes my action step.
Yes.
I'll now move on to the encounter step. So again, there's no patrols. Resolve a contact token. In this case, I'm probably okay. So in this case, I'm going to resolve a card. So I draw one from the encounter deck for, well, it's this space here. So it's the Ring of Catherine and Takodana. But obviously, in this case, I'll be using the Ring of Catherine because that's where I am. Okay, so cloaking devices are hard to come by, not to mention expensive. The salesman smiles. You may spend 3,000 credits to gain the mod below, which is in fact a cloaking device, as is expected. That would allow me to, when my opponent rolls dice during a ship combat, I can discard this card to cancel all the hit effects, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, however, it is 3,000 credits, and I just don't have that kind of cash right now, so I'm going to have to leave that one. Okay, and that's my turn done.
Okay. Having a look round my cards and characters here, and I see that my personal goal was to have 2 droid crew. Now it's worth noting that the bucket that I'm flying around in only has space for 1 crew. So before I can achieve my personal goal, I'm going to have to upgrade the ship.
Yep.
So now it's time to get to work. So it's time to pick up jobs, bounties, etc.
Earn credits.
Earn the cash, earn it,
Buy
and do the
buy the big ships.
and buy the ships.
And the ships are expensive.
Yeah, the one sitting here is now sitting at 10 grand.
Yeah, you're talking about like maybe 3,000, 4,000 for kind of most of the kind of bog standard kind of gear and things. But when you're talking about ships, you're talking about 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 credits.
Yeah,
So
20,000.
so you need to do some jobs before you can really upgrade upgrade your ship.
Well, it is also worth noting that you can trade your ship in. So say this ship, if you earn the money to buy this ship, and then later on, say my ship came out, I'll sell this back to the market basically, and then cash in the credit. It's sort of trade in.
And the same goes for gears and mods. So for example, I know Stevie has got a piece of gear, and I think it's worth 4,000 credits.
4,000,
Yeah. So Stevie can use that gear and barter that 4,000 credits, and put that card back in its market deck at the bottom of the market deck, and reduce the price of the ship by 4,000 credits.
Yeah.
And you would do that for whatever you had. So if you had a mod that was 3,000 credits, you would reduce the price by 3,000 if you put it back underneath its market deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And amazingly, unlike the real world, ships don't lose half the price when you drive them off the wall.
Yeah. Only certain ships. Right. So I'm gonna have to move. I could stay here and earn 2 grand, but you know, what's the point of that? There's more money to be made elsewhere in the galaxy. So with my move of 5, let's see, where can I go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get to Kessel.
You can get to Kessel.
So this is good. 2 gold contacts on that.
You're still looking for a white
Yeah,
contact.
still looking for a white contact.
But there are a number of white contacts down this end of the world.
Down this end as well.
There is. I bet you. I'm going to go down this way, but I bet you my guy's there. So I'm going to go to Kessel.
You're going to go to Kessel. You're at IG8.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. Okay. Right. So I am on Kessel and market actions. I'm gonna let's see. That's a yellow. Oof. I think I'll sequel that. So we can get an easier bounty.
That's a pretty hard bounty just now. Maybe later once you've got some gear, but yeah.
Okay, so we've got Bolshek, who's a green. Bolshek, if you don't know, is the guy who knocked back the job from Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Let's see. Okay, so he's worth 6,000 if you kill him, and he's worth, what was that, 8,002 fame if you
8,002 fame if you
return him to Narvata.
Narvata.
Wow.
Clearly wanted by the Huts.
Nice.
That's a pretty big fame.
And he's also good news because he actually costs nothing to take out. So I'll have that bounty. Thanks very much.
Lovely.
I'm looking for a green or a white. Now, that changes things for me. Now I can look for greens and whites when I'm out hunting bounties. I'm not going to encounter the yellows, or the golds rather, counters, so I'm going to have a card, please.
Okay.
Okay, now like Andy, there's two choices here, and I'm on Castle, so I choose the Castle option. And clear here. Okay, the mines have always been, well, the mines always have plenty of space, and now you just need to find a buyer. You may spend 3,000 to gain the cargo below. If you have a positive syndicate reputation, you may gain the cargo by spending 1,000 instead. I don't have that kind of cash on me, so that card just goes away. There's nothing else to do.
No spice running for you.
No space runs for me. It was just a mild stop on my way to some more exciting things anyway. So that's me, and I'll hand it over to you. No, yeah, that's me. Hand it over to Billy.
Okay, so it's over to my turn. I've still got a job to do, and I need to do it on Takodana.
Where are you, Billy?
So I actually don't have to move.
Yay.
So for me, the planning step is going to be all about the money. So I'm going to take 2,000 credits, giving me a total of 10,000 credits, which is quite nice. So quite happy with that. So moving on to the action step, deliver cargo and bounties. I do not have any cargo or bounties, but I can do a market action on the planet. So I'm going to have a wee look and see what those market actions are. So I'm not really about bounties. I'm a jobs girl, so that's probably not of any real interest to me. So what is the job that's there?
The job is attend a statue dedication.
Right.
Any planet where you have positive reputation with the planet's faction, that's your destination. Encounter, complete this job. Reward, gain one fame. You may spend 10,000 to gain one additional fame, then remove this card.
Nice.
So basically, it seems like an easy fame.
Right.
Yeah, and you're right beside an Imperial.
But it costs me 10,000 to buy it.
It costs you 10,000 to buy it.
Right.
So that is quite expensive and wipes me out of cash.
So what do you get for completing the job?
Let me
You get
have a
one
look.
fame.
Yeah, do you get any money for it?
No.
No.
But if you've got 20,000, you could get 2 fame pretty easy. But it's a lot of cash.
You ain't got that kind of cheese, huh?
Yeah. I'm not loving that, so I'm actually going to cycle through that one.
Okay.
Okay, so it flips up. Photon torpedoes, 15,000 credits. I'm pretty sure they do something special for 15,000 credits.
Yeah, they blow death stars.
Do they?
If you believe that kind of thing.
I should probably sell these onto someone because I've got a positive Imperial reputation. Surely there's plans inside some sort of protocol droid or something. Okay, so right, that's pretty much out my price range as well. But the option I do have is I do have the option of buying the heavy duty lifter for 10,000. So if I did buy that, it wouldn't increase my speed, but it would increase my ship combat and my hull points. It gives me 1 cargo slot, either 1 cargo or mod slot, and up to 3 crew. Now I don't have anything at the moment, so I'm probably not going to bother with that at this stage. So with regards to market actions, I'm actually not going to buy anything.
Okay.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the encounter step. I could have traded with anyone in my space, but there's no one else in my space. So I can fight a patrol, but I'm not in space, so that doesn't happen. I can resolve an encounter, or I can resolve a contact. So I'm going to resolve the encounter, that is my job, heavy hitters, and I'm going to test strength. If you pass, complete this job. If you fail, your character suffers 1 damage. So, my character has got the knowledge, stealth and tech skills. So, at the moment, I'm testing this unskilled. However, Dr. Afra, once per turn, before you perform a skill test, you may pick a skill of your choice for that test. So there's probably no surprise to anyone here that I'm going to pick strength. Alright, which means I am skilled in strength and I need either a success or a critical success to pass. I didn't get either.
That's harsh.
So I take 1 damage and I place that on my character. Now I have got 4 health, which now means I can take 3 more health before becoming defeated. Okay? And that is the end of my turn.
Okay.
Okay.
I keep that job because I've not managed to complete it. You don't actually lose the job until you complete and gain the reward. And so now it's Andy's turn.
Okay. So after completing my somewhat trade with Stevie, I am going to move back from the Ring of Catherine 2 spaces back to Takodana as my planning step. I am then going to, as my action step, I am going to deliver a bounty. So I'm going to hand in Pondo Baba.
Okay.
So what that will get me, if I hand him in as a bounty, is I'll get 10,000 credits and 1 fame. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So I get to move my little fame token up, and I get a big nice 10,000 credit strip, which makes me feel like I've got all the cash.
Lovely.
So that's my first part of the action step. I can still do my market actions because I'm on a planet. So I am going to, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cycle this card here. Okay, and that is an ion cannon. During ship combat, cancel one of your opponent's successes. If you have tactics, you may instead cancel one critical success. Now that's pretty good. I do have tactics, and also that would cost me 5,000 credits, which I can now afford. And also, that is my personal goal. I have to have at least 1 mod, 2 gear with a combined cost of at least 15,000 to gain 1 fame and flip this card. So that's kind of helping me work towards that. So I'm going to buy that. So I'll take that. And I can go on my ship there.
Very nice. Feel I'm falling behind here.
Okay. It's because you're not playing Lando this time. That's what it is.
That's probably right.
I feel I should have killed you and taken the body, instead of being nice about it. I'm going to regret that lack of combat from IG8. Like cold and merciless.
You're doing okay. You got a droid crew.
Yeah, no, but I could have reflected some pain as well.
Okay, so now I get my encounter step. So I can resolve an encounter card or resolve a contact token. I don't really want to resolve any of the contact tokens.
Do you want to trade with Billy? No, really. Do you guys want to trade? Because you have that option.
That is true, I do have that option.
I've actually not really got much to trade.
Yeah.
I've only got a job and I'm happy keeping that one.
Or you could punch him in the face and take.
You can choose me as your encounter. That is true.
I can.
I'm not sure what benefit you would get from that.
Do you get to steal things off you? So like,
No.
No, you can't. You don't.
Can't be allowed to
It's
take
just
your
to
money.
stop people.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So you can't gank people, is what you're saying. You can't go around being.
I mean, you can encounter other players if there's actually a point in doing it. For example, if you wanted to stop me moving, putting 3 damage on me means that I would have to recover in my planning step. So there is an element of you do get a benefit from doing these things, but equally you encounter me and maybe some bad rolls. You might find yourself on the wrong end.
Yeah.
So again, it's all about balancing what you do as you move through the game.
I remember the last time we played this, I got a brand new ship with all the guns. I thought, right, I'm going out to have some space combat and get absolutely blasted out of the sky. And it was a humbling experience.
yeah. Apparently, the Millennium Falcon in real life isn't quite as good as it is in the movies.
I don't have the same luck as Han Solo.
Yeah. As I don't want to fight with Billy, I'm going to resolve an encounter card. So this is for Takodana. So, the Gamorrean snorts as you sit down at his table. It should be tough to convince him to help you. You may test influence. If you pass, gain the crew below. Okay, so I don't have influence. I did have influence, but I traded that droid away. Probably sold him to some Jawas or something.
No, you give it to the cold remorseless
Killing Machine.
Killing Machine, who was actually
So-
quite amicable about it.
So in this case, I'm rolling 2 dice and I'm looking for a critical success, and I don't get that.
No.
So basically that card just goes away. That card will go to the bottom of the deck, and that is the end of my turn.
Alrighty.
But I am off the fame track, so
Oh,
I'm currently the most famous guy here.
you
Let's
are.
check you out
winning.
with your fame.
Check me out with all my big one fame,
Yeah.
my big lizard face.
God bless that transition face.
So
A big cuddly face. Who wouldn't love it?
Well,
Chewbacca, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the top one there. What was that?
now
I remember
something
that's
that we
the
haven't
most-
actually
oh,
mentioned.
yeah, of course, the motion.
Something we haven't actually mentioned is
Oh.
that this red nav point is actually not a nav point. It is the maelstrom. So right next to Kessel. So no real surprise there. And you must stop when you're moving through the maelstrom. So IGA is going to move, and he's going to move to here. And the encounter card that you would take when you move to the maelstrom, when you get to your encounter step, would be the bottom part of the Kessel maelstrom encounter deck. Okay.
Now it is worth noting that because I have W1LE or Willie, that I can have a market action even when I'm in space.
Yes,
So,
you can.
I can cycle this ship.
And I think you do that as an encounter, don't you? With Willie.
Yeah, it's an encounter.
Yeah, which means that you wouldn't actually have to encounter the maelstrom card.
Ah, right, okay. No, hang on, this changes things. Yeah, okay, let's have the maelstrom card.
You want to see the maelstrom
Yeah,
card?
I do.
There we go.
Yeah. Why not, eh? What's the worst that can happen?
Space monsters.
Very large space
Okay.
monsters.
Very large space
If you
monsters.
have a negative or neutral syndicate reputation, sorry, if you have a positive, I don't have any of this. So sorry,
Does it say
yeah,
positive or neutral?
no, neutral. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm doing putting a lot over players list and just kind of picking the text I want to read instead of reading the whole card. Okay, if you have a negative or positive syndicate reputation, which I fall into, a Pike Capo fears that the workers may be planning a revolt and asks you to spy on them. You may test stealth. If you pass, gain 1 syndicate reputation. If you fail, your character suffers 2 damage.
I think you're reading Kessel though. I think you
Oh no, right, sorry. Yeah, right, my apology. So, the Maelstrom. Okay, test paladin or tech. If you pass, take an additional turn.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
What skills do you have?
I
You
have
have tech. Oh,
Yeah,
you're so
tech.
lucky.
Excellent.
Because I am the big droid. Right,
You
so,
would think a robot would have tech.
so I'm looking for a success or a critical success.
Yes.
2 dice. I get 9.
Oh, wow.
No.
No, okay, okay. So that's it.
Oh, so you would have got an additional turn though, which is actually quite cool.
Yeah.
If you'd managed to pass.
Dice are pretty harsh.
They certainly were on me. Sad bugger.
Okay, so that's me. Turn over.
Okay, lovely. Right, so over to me. So we're in the planning step. Now I've actually got a few things I could do. I've still got a job to do on Tactical Dana, so I'm not going to move. But I do have the choice to either gain 2,000 credits or heal all damage. Now, I'm going to give this a bash again. So I'm not going to heal my damage because 1 damage will take me to 2 damage and I have 4 health. So I'm not too fussed about that at the moment. So I'm going to gain the 2,000 and then that's my planning step over.
You know about the money.
I'm now sitting at 12,000, but I don't have a great deal to do with it. So in the action step, deliver cargo and bounties. I don't have any cargo or bounties, but I then get a market action. So what I'm going to do is actually, given the fact that I've now got myself to 12,000, I'm actually going to perform my market action on the ships, and I'm going to make that one go away because I think I'm kind of wanting something else, and I end up with the Fire Spray 31 patrol craft or Slave 1 that costs 20,000 credits. So my poultry 12,000 just
doesn't cut it.
to be honest. That's pretty disappointing, but we are where we are. So in this instance, I am actually going to purchase something from the markets. I'm actually going to purchase the hired help crew. Okay, so I'm going to pop that hired help crew under there for 1,000 credits, and then I'm going to flip over this, which is another job. Okay, which will help me as I move on. And then that is my action step, because again, I'm not really any further forward, so I can't really trade with Andy's boss character. And I'm going to move on to the encounter step, and again, my encounter is going to be the strength test. Okay, so again, as Dr. Afra, I get to choose a skill, and I'm going to choose strength. So that means I'm skilled. I now have a hired help, so before you perform a skill test, you may gain a skill of your choice for that test. If you pass that test, discard this crew. I'm actually going to use that card, and I'm going to say strength, and now that means I'm actually highly skilled.
Oh.
So when I roll these 2 dice, as long as I get a symbol, a success, a critical success on the eyes, I will pass and successfully perform the heavy hitter's job. Okay, so wish me luck.
Yay.
And I pass. Okay, so the hired help gets discarded because I passed the test, and that was one of the stipulations in using her skill. So I have now completed the job. So I gain 4,000 credits. I'm just going to take a 5,000 credits and put 1,000 credits back. And I get 1 fame. I then remove this card from the game. Okay. However, my personal goals are to complete 2 jobs to get 1 fame. So I'm halfway there, and I'm going to take a gold token, and I'm going to place it here to remind me that I have completed half of my personal goals. And then that'll end my turn.
Nice. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to play on for a wee bit, and we'll maybe pick it up later on.
Okay guys, welcome back. We've played through a few more turns. Billy's kind of halfway towards achieving his goal. Sitting on a really decent stack of cash. I locked out and found my bounty, and I've handed him in, so I'm sitting on 14 grand and looking to buy myself a new spaceship so I can have more droids with my thing. But now we've brought us back to the action because Andy has I think it's a multi-task job here, which I think is something that we want to kind of show you guys.
Yeah.
These it's a tricky one to pull off, but the rewards are high, so it's worth it. You know, risk reward. Yeah.
So if you remember from the wee bit there, I got the casino heist job, which requires me to go to the planet Cantonica. And what happens with these ones is when you do, it says here encounter, resolve card number 42. So we've got number 42 out the databank deck, and basically it gives you various steps. So this is, as Stevie says, it's like a multi-stage kind of task. It's not just one test. So here we go. So as Stevie says, it's pretty difficult, but rewards are high if it can be done. So the casino heist. The first part of the plan involves distracting the security guard with small talk. So my first thing is to test influence. If I fail, the entire job fails. It'll basically go kind of all goes wrong at the first thing. Unfortunately, I don't have influence, so I am looking for critical success at this point. So let's see what we get. Oh,
Critical success.
Critical
critical
success.
success.
Lucky.
Influencing trash on you.
So I've just managed to squeak my way through. Somehow Bosk has impressed this guard with his lizard small talk. Okay, you try to slice into their system and add some credits to your account. Test tech. If you fail, your character suffers 1 damage and skip to step 4. Okay, so again, unfortunately, I don't have tech. So again, I'm looking for a critical success. Okay, so in that one, I haven't got a critical success, unfortunately. So my character suffers 1 damage, but I can take 4. And as it says, I go straight to step 4, so bypass step 3. Right, an alarm is raised and security storms the room. Fight a ground combat against the local security. Strength 3. If you win, you're not defeated. Complete this job. If you lose, repeat this step. Okay, so my ground combat ability is 3. The guard's ground and combat ability is 3. Stevie, if you want to roll for the guard. Oh.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we get. Oh!
Oof.
That is excellent.
Good luck getting that.
So,
Ah, challenge accepted. Oh.
Okay, so amazingly, all my luck has come up at once, and I've managed to roll 3 critical successes, and Stevie has rolled 1. Okay, so I have definitively won this combat. I do take damage, however, from the guards.
Yes, and critical success counts as 2 damage.
Okay, so I take 2 points of damage, and that puts me on 3. I do have 4. So, as the card says, if you win and you're not defeated, complete this job. If you lose, repeat this step. But I've done that, so I've completed the job. I've won myself a big stack load of cash, so that is 15,000 credits.
15,000 big ones.
Wow.
So, that's a...
Do you get any fame for that?
Unfortunately, I don't get any fame. I think I should, given the amount of stuff I've had to go through, but I don't. But I do get 15,000 credits, so that is a big
reward
chunk of
enough.
cheese.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice, nice.
And then this card gets removed from the game as well, so I am the only one who can pull off that casino heist, basically.
Well done,
So.
Andy.
Okay. That is the end of my turn.
Decisive. Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm going to be planning on how to spend all my cash.
okay. So we're going to kind of play through a few more, and then we'll come back when we have another kind of exciting thing to show you. Okay, so yeah, we've played around a few more turns, and we're kind of getting to a point now where we've got the ships that kind of geared up a little bit, and Billy, you're in a good shape. I think you've got your eye on the Falcons. Well, not sorry, a modified YT-13 light freighter has shown up, but has the delusions of grandeur of being probably the fastest hunky chunk in the galaxy. I've found my second bounty, and I'm about to encounter him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bolshek. So it says you may spend 2,000 credits to gain the crew below and discard Bolshek's token. But I think if I'm taking him as a bounty, I have to fight him. Is that right?
I think so.
What you would do is you would encounter like this.
Yep. So he's got a ground combat value of 3. My ground combat value is 4 with my Bible blade. So
Okay.
So I'll wait for you to roll.
so I'll have a go at stabbing him with my Bible blade. I
pretty
get
good roll.
2 successes and 1 crit. Okay.
So 4 damage in total.
Yep. Okay.
As Bolshek, I get 3 dice.
Yep.
And I roll. So I get 3 in total.
Yep.
And the ice only affects cards
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
So that's 3.
3
So-
versus my 4.
So you manage to defeat him,
Yay.
but you do take 3 damage. But with 4 health, your robotic body
Remains
continues.
undefeated.
Oh, I actually
Yes.
think we've got these.
Right, so I'll return the Bolshek card to the deck, is that right?
Yep, that
Yep.
goes back there.
And I've got the token, so
Yep, so you got the token, so you get that token.
and now I'll be heading to, is it Moncal? Where did I go?
On Calamari?
No, Nalhutta.
Oh, Nalhutta.
Alberta, so you're
Oh,
heading back
yeah,
this
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Oh, I just came from there. I need to buy a faster ship. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so it's on to my turn. So in the planning step, I've got a choice actually as to whether or not I move or not. I've got a couple of jobs. One's on Naboo, one's on Ryloth. I really want to be. I kind of want to be at that side of the board, but I still want to make sure I'm on a planet so that I can purchase the modified YT-1300 light freighter. So how far can I get? I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would take me to Tatooine. Unfortunately, I don't have any jobs on Tatooine. I've got a job on Naboo and Ryloth, so I'm on my way around there. While I'm here, I can deliver cargo and bounties. Not something I have. I can do a market action. I don't think I'm quite happy with this job here. But I'm actually not going to cycle through anything. But what I am going to do is I'm going to purchase the YT-1300 light freighter, which hopefully at some point during this game will become the Millennium Falcon. Okay, so this card gets removed from the game, and I would bring in the ship card here
Oh.
for the princely sum, of 20,000 credits. Now, I have purchased that, and unfortunately it was for the full 20,000 because the starter ships are all worth 0. So when I trade my ship in, I get nothing for it. I feel like Luke Skywalker on Tatooine trading his land speeder. So that has kind of increased me substantially. It's only given me one more hyperdrive. So I now have a movement of 7 with that, but it has doubled my ship combat value from 2 to 4, and it has increased my hull value from 3 to 5. Most importantly, the YT 1300 has got 3 crew spaces, and it has a spot for cargo and mod, but it also has an extra spot that you can put cargo or a mod in. So it's you can put a lot of stuff on this. So hopefully I'll be able to develop that as we move on further in the game. And also now it has its own ship goal. So the ship goal for the YT 1300 light freighter is if you have either 2 mods or 1 mod and Chewbacca, deliver 1 cargo and gain 1 fame, and then flip this ship. And if I manage to do that, it becomes the Millennium Falcon. Okay. Now, what actually does happen there is its combat value increases by 1, but it also has special modifications. And when you are rolling a die to deliver illegal cargo, you may turn an I sign into a critical success. An I sign or a critical success into a success. So that would allow you to actually deliver your illegal cargo easier, much like handed, and hopefully I won't have to drop my cargo at the first sign of an Imperial cruiser. Alright, so I've made that. I now get to do an encounter, and I'll do an encounter on Tatooine because I don't have anything else to do. So on Tatooine, I can't tell anybody about this because it's a secret. Jabba is looking to add more trophies to his audience chamber. If on Tatooine, discard this card to deliver a contact token of 1 of your bounty cards for its captured reward. You may do this regardless of the reward's specified planet. Unfortunately, that would have been great if it was one of my
professional bounty hunters.
The bounty hunters. I am not, so I don't get any benefit from that, unfortunately. Put it to the bottom of the encounter deck and end my turn.
Excellent.
Okay. So we're going to stop playing there.
Excuse me.
Hopefully you've got a rough idea of the game. We've had a wee bit of combat. We've had some of the kind of more complicated jobs that are done in phases. We've moved on the fame tracker. We've had a wee bit surrounding
Excuse me. Sorry.
adjustments in reputation with the different factions in the game, and we've had we've really had a rifle through quite a few of the encounter cards and the data cards. So hopefully you've got a flavour for the game. Certainly it's a game that I think we've really enjoyed playing and learning. So again, feel free to leave any comments. If you've played Outer Rim and you think there's maybe something that we're maybe doing wrong, or in fact if there's something that we've done and it's it's maybe something that you didn't pick up on, please leave comments below. Again, if you like what we're doing, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of what we're doing, please consider subscribing, and if you are already a subscriber, please tick the bell. Ring the bell, and you'll receive notifications of anything me and Mike and a meeple upload to our YouTube channel. So thanks very much for watching. Stevie, Andy, you got anything to add?
Yeah, just one. In the previous video, when we did the unboxing of Final Frontiers, we discovered one of the figures was damaged, and we have a good relationship and a direct line of communication with Jose Mendez, one of the lead designers in that game, and he has taken that on board, and as we speak, a new figure is on its way to us that handles that with absolutely zero hassle, and I can't commend him enough for the professionalism in that. So thanks again, Jose. We really look forward to getting your game to the table and giving the guys a little kind of playthrough of that.
I've enjoyed appearing with you guys. Let us know how you guys get on making your own reputations in the Outer Rim. We look forward to seeing you more and hearing your comments.
Bye.
Bye.